This? It's just a mess. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome back. Welcome to week 4. Welcome back, everybody. Hope all of you are doing well. Why did I walk in wearing a mask? Well, there's a real reason for it, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason for that is because there's been some interesting new science that has come out about coronavirus and about masks. So initially, the CDC told everybody, don't wear masks, it doesn't even matter because a mask, aside from an N95 mask, will not keep you from getting sick. Right? They said it's not really a big deal. No matter what kind of a mask you wear, you're still going to get sick if you're around somebody else who is sick. But what they figured out is that if everybody's wearing a mask, then those people who are sick won't get other people sick. The other thing that they found out is that they've been doing a lot of experiments, and what they figured out, and they've been collecting a lot of data, and they've been testing a lot of people, and what they figured out is that there is likely a huge population of people who are sick right now, who have coronavirus, who have COVID-19 right now, but aren't showing any symptoms, right? So that means that for a lot of us, we can be healthy and we'll have no idea. We don't have any symptoms, no fever, no coughing, no nothing, but we still are carriers. And that means that we can get other people sick, all right? So the CDC has now changed what it was saying, and it's telling everyone, if you're going out to the world, if you're going grocery shopping, if you're going to buy something, right, essentials that people need, make sure you wear a mask because you might be a carrier and not know it. You may have the ability to get somebody sick and not know it. And if you wear that mask, it decreases the likelihood of you getting someone else sick by 90%. Okay? So, again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this very, very, very clear. The only mask that will keep you from getting sick is an N95 mask. And no one should have an N95 mask unless they're a medical professional, because we have a shortage right now. And only medical professionals should be getting those masks, right? So that means that everybody else, we don't have access to those masks. And that means that no matter what kind of a mask you wear, you can still get sick. But it's important that we all wear masks if we go out into the world because it keeps other people from getting sick, all right? So if you happen to be sick, if you happen to be a carrier, you will keep other people from getting sick. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or Harbor Freight or any kind of store and you see a mask like this, buy one and wear it. Or, you know, a lot of people are making masks from home now. Get a mask if you can, okay? And if you go out into the world, wear a mask. You don't need to wear a mask like this. This is crazy. I only have this because of other projects that I was doing. But if you have access to a mask, please wear one. It keeps other people from getting sick, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Let's talk about English class. Yay! Let's talk about Greek mythology. Wow. That was a wild ride. That was a little crazy, right? That's insane. Greek mythology is insane. It's nuts. All right. The first chapter is really valuable and important because it lays the foundation for what you're going to be reading in the future, right? We have an idea of what the gods do, what they're in charge of, what they do, you know, and how they, you know, operate on Mount Olympus and how they operate within the world, right? And that's great. And you have that sheet, and it's a great reference guide. Please reference it as you read along, okay? Now, the second part, the two gods of earth, that's nuts. Those stories are insane, right? They are absolutely insane. And when it comes to, I'm horrible with the names, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. I apologize for that. But when it comes to Persephone, ladies and gentlemen, what were they trying to explain? What were they trying to explain? What thing did they not understand that they then needed to come up with a story for? The changing of the seasons, right? So they come up with this crazy story about Persephone being abducted and taken down to Hades, being taken down to the underworld by Hades and all this kind of craziness. And when she's gone, and when she comes back, the seasons change, right? And so again, it sounds crazy to us because we understand that the seasons are not indicative of somebody going back and forth between two different realms. We understand the science behind the seasons, right? But during that time period, they didn't know that. They didn't have that. So they came up with a reason. And what made sense to them? Some otherworldly being is controlling the seasons around them. And that may sound crazy to us, but when you have no answers, it absolutely would make sense that there's some other being who is in control of all of these things around us, right? And then, I always forget how to say his name. Look, I even have a YouTube of how to say his name. All right, let's see, let's listen to it.
Dionysus or Dionysus.
I'm gonna say Dionysus because that just sounds better. So we have Dionysus, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Dionysus is the god of wine, and he's like normally pretty chill unless you make him mad. The dude straight up didn't like another dude and had his family tear him apart. Cool. Right? It's nuts. It is nuts. But ladies and gentlemen, again, you have to embrace the crazy. You have to embrace the craziness, okay? If you don't embrace the craziness, you're just gonna, but again, you know, these were stories that we were meant to learn from, right? And what can we learn from, Dionysus? What can we learn from the god of wine is that, yeah, moderation, right? Wine can be fine, right? If you're of legal age and blah, 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 right? But wine can be fine. And that's what the Greeks were trying to get at. It was like, wine can be fine unless you don't do it in moderation because it can ruin your life. Right? We understand that addiction can ruin people's lives. It can derail people, regardless of who they are, regardless of how smart they are, regardless of how successful they are. We understand that addiction can derail those things. So we have lots of stories about that kind of thing, right? And so this was one of those stories. This was a cautionary tale. Again, just like all the literature that we've read, all the literature we've read is trying to get us to understand something and learn and grow as human beings, right? In Shakespeare, with Romeo and Juliet, one of the main tenets of his story was that violence is never the right answer, and violence will always cause problems, right? Regardless of what we think and what Hollywood tries to get us to think, violence will always be problematic and it will always cause problems for us. And so he's imparting that wisdom upon us. He's trying to get us to learn something. Well, the Greeks were doing the same thing. And that's something that we're going to follow throughout all of these stories, is that all of these stories were meant to impart wisdom upon us and meant to teach us lessons so that we can learn something from them. And they were trying to get their people to buy into this idea of, like, you know, of the things that were important and relevant during that time. Okay, and so even though they're crazy, I want you to really connect with these stories, and I want you to try to find the wisdom and the relevant information that is being taught by these stories for the people of that time period, and that is still relevant today. Like, all of us can say that this idea of moderation is important, right? And it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you do, moderation is important. And so they use this God to kind of show that, but moderation is important not just when it comes to things that can cause addictions, but moderation is important in everything that we do. A huge problem in Silva, right? A lot of you don't have moderation when it comes to school, right? And so moderation, you and I and everyone in the United States really can learn from this idea of moderation. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to what you're going to be doing this week. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Boop. There I am. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's go over this. So this is week 4, right? So I guess I'll go back so that you guys can see it. So we've got 4 9 weeks. Assignments, week 4, and this is the stuff we're doing. Okay, so again, what I did again this week was I made everything sequential, so you have to do everything in order. Some of you were sending me reminders like, Mr., I can't open the folder, it won't let me open the folder. Well, that's because you didn't complete everything from before. So if you want to get into chapter 4, you have to finish reading in chapter 3 and complete the assignment in chapter 3. You can't jump back and forth, okay? Now, I've done this a little differently. I've been making these videos within these folders, but I decided I'm not going to do that since this video is really for both folders. I'm just going to put it out in the open. But you have to watch this video, which you are doing right now, before you can move on to these other folders, okay? And then after you read and you do your assignments, then you have your chapter 3 and 4 quiz. 10 questions, 15 minutes, 10 points each. You may take the quiz twice, all right? So if you bomb the first quiz, you may take it again, and I will take the highest grade out of the 2 quizzes, okay? Once again, it is resumable. If you have problems with it, shoot me your mind, shoot me an email, and I will take care of it, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you click on the video, make sure you watch it, and I need you to make me famous! Make me famous! I was talking to my wife about the video today, and I was telling her that I want you to make me famous, and she said, yeah, get famous so that I don't have to work anymore. So now I got pressure from my wife. So if you don't make me famous, you're letting my wife down. How does that feel? It's not right, ladies and gentlemen. Make me famous. So click on the video. All right, watch it, share it, tell your friends. All right. So here's the link. This is chapter 3. So once again, this is the chapter, the PDF of the chapter. Right? It is only the chapter. There's nothing else. This is how the world and mankind were created. Yo, get ready for some just nonsense. Like, this is just wild. This is craziness, crazy in a can, ladies and gentlemen. It is nuts, and it is so fun to read. I remember when I first came across these stories, I read them, like shake my head, read them again, like, what? They're entertaining, and they're meant to do 2 things. They are, look, back then, we still don't have a conclusive idea of how the earth was created, right? We don't have something that can go through the scientific, that can go through the scientific method. We very strongly believe that we think that we know what happened, right? We really strongly believe that we think that we know what happened, but we don't know. We don't know conclusively, right? It isn't factual, right? It's a theory. We have theories about how the earth was formed and how the earth was created, right? Now, we have, once again, years of science and evidence to kind of come up with that, right? But back then, they had nothing, right? So they're trying to figure out, like, how did we end up here? How did all of this happen? So they created a creation story, right? No different from every other society, every other group of people, every other society, all throughout the world and all through human history, people have been wanting to get this answer of, why are we here? How are we here, right? And so the Greeks were no different. So they came up with a creation story, right? About how the world, how the universe, and how human beings, how mankind came about, okay? And so this story is wild. It's so interesting, and it's really fun to read because it's just kind of crazy, right? So be ready for it. And get excited about it. It's really interesting, okay? So that's the PDF. Make sure you read it. And then you have this, your assignment, ladies and gentlemen. So your assignment is you're going to be doing something that kind of feels like a bell ringer and an exit ticket, okay? It's going to be one Word document, not 2, okay? And on that one Word document, you're going to answer the first prompt, you're going to answer the second prompt. Each prompt has to be at least 1 paragraph long, okay? But no more than 1 paragraph long, right? I don't want to kill you guys, all right? So it's 1 paragraph is the minimum. You can write more if you want, okay? For some of you, this stuff is going to be great. It's going to be really good for you to just write and do things, and it's going to be therapeutic for some of you, but for some of you, it won't, all right? So if you want to write more, be my guest. If you want to keep it at the 1 paragraph, that's fine too, okay? So Make sure it's the MLA format. Use the template that I gave you in week 1, okay? But the first prompt is, how do you think the world and the universe were created? You tell me what you think, what you believe in, what you ascribe to, right? Because again, there are multiple opinions out there, right? So I want you to tell me how you think the universe and the world were created, okay? And part 2, create a short creation story about anything you want. For example, a lot of students last year created a fictional creation story of Silva, sorry. Okay, you're gonna upload here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, create a creation story for whatever you want, all right? Like I said, a lot of people use Silva, and they wrote it in a Greek, like in this Greek mythology way, right? And it was great. So I just want you to create a creation story of anything. I don't want it to be factual. That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to look up the history and the facts of how something was created. I want you among the same idea of like coming up with a story to explain how something is or why something is, okay? So if you want to come up with a creation story about the world, do it. You want to come up with a creation story about Silva? Do it. You want to come up with a creation story about football? Do it. You want to come up with a creation story about whatever. I want you to be creative. I want you to come up with something on your own, okay? So that's chapter 3. That's everything you got to do for chapter 3, okay? Now we got chapter 4. Very similar. Here is the PDF, okay? This is going to be about the earliest heroes, okay? You're going to read about the earliest heroes. Greek mythology is filled with heroic figures, heroic characters, all right? Who, because of their moral fortitude and because of their strength and because of their toughness, because of their grit or because of their intelligence or whatever, they all had different characteristics that made them great. They became heroes, and they were then they're famous for that, right? And so I want you to read about the heroes. Boom, 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 right? It's all here. And then after you do that, you are going to come with an assignment. Now, your assignment is, I want you to turn yourself into a hero, all right? Every single one of you has a special talent, has a special skill. Every single one of you has something that you're proud of. I want you to use that, and I want you to use that as an opportunity for you to create a story about you doing something heroic with that talent, okay? Here, you know what? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. And I'm gonna look at you. Every single one of you is so talented and so smart and has unbelievable value, okay? And so I don't want to hear, I don't have any talent. Of course you do. Every single one of you is an amazing student, is an amazing person, and you all have these incredible talents and abilities, okay? So I want you, and it's hard for a lot of us to talk about what we're good at, but I want you to do that. I want you to find something that you know that you're good at or that you're proud of, and I want you to utilize that as an opportunity to write a heroic story about you using that talent to do something great. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I want you to have fun with it. I want you to be creative, and I hope that this is fun for you. All right. These assignments are a little different. You know, they're more on the creative side, and that's one of the things I really love about Greek mythology. Is that it allows me to assign you things that are kind of fun and creative, all right? So I want you to do that. 1 paragraph, MLA format, submit it on there, okay? Then, once you do that, ladies and gentlemen, then you have your chapter quiz, all right? And I've already gone over your chapter quiz, okay? So, now, all of this will be due on either Sunday or Monday, okay? So for A day, it's gonna be due Sunday. For B day, it's going to be due Monday, okay? I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of pages for you to read, but the biggest complaint I got last week from things being time consuming was the drawing. So I'm not going to do that. There's no drawing. It's just these, you have to write 3 paragraphs and you're going to have to read 30 pages. So 30 pages is a lot, but I'm not just giving you Monday through Friday. I'm giving you Monday through Sunday and Tuesday through Monday. Okay. So you guys have the full 7 days to get this done. Okay. And that's really it. Let me stop sharing real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still trying to figure out how much work to give you. I hope that I've kind of figured out the equation, but it's, things, we're both learning. All right. We're all learning. I'm trying to give you plenty of time. I'm trying to give you all plenty of time to get this work done. And I want you all to be able to, I want to be able to accomplish 2 things with you. It's my German, sorry. The 2 things, I want you all to accomplish 2 things. The first is I want you all to have something to do. And I want you to have something to look forward to. I want you to be able to get in a routine and continue to learn and continue to read and continue to have fun academically. But I also don't want to overwhelm you. So I'm trying to find that balance there. I don't want to give you too little because then you can get bored. And for some of you, you're craving that stability, you're craving that academics, right? But I don't want to overload you and I don't want to stress you out, okay? So hopefully this works, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you have to do for the entire week. There's really nothing else that you all need to do. And you have 2 shots at the quiz grade. And that's it. If you guys need anything, if you have any questions, please shoot me a reminder. Please shoot me an email. And I'll do my best to help you out. I'm trying to be super flexible. If something went wrong, just let me know. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this week. I'm going to say something that I'm going to regret. Oh, sorry. No, before I say that, ladies and gentlemen, remember, we only do Zoom meetings on Monday and Tuesday. That's it. So you're getting 1 Zoom meeting a week. All right. It's really just for me to check in on you, make sure you guys are doing okay, make sure you guys are healthy, make sure you guys are safe. All right. The information that you need is on this video. And then if you need clarification, the fastest, easiest, best, most direct way to get a hold of me is on Remind. And you have a link. Every single one of you has a link on Remind. Okay? Every single one of you has a link on Schoology to get into Remind. Okay? My wife is telling me to be quiet. My wife is telling me that they're done, that you guys are done listening to me. Okay. I'm gonna say something I regret, but some of my students had asked about creating a Q&A for my wife. So you guys want to have a Q&A session with my wife, all right? This is how I'm going to do it. At some point, I'm going to allow you all to ask questions on Remind. So if you have a question that you want answered by my wife or by me, then you're going to send it to us through Remind, okay? Now, I'm only going to accept it through Remind, all right? Understand that if you send me something through Remind, I know exactly who it is. So make sure that all of your questions are appropriate, okay? Make sure your questions are appropriate. But I want to start doing something a little fun. I want to start having some fun videos for you guys. I think it's good for you guys because, this is a weird situation. A lot of people are stressed and some of you are really anxious right now. So I think that might help you all. Okay, so I'm probably going to announce that at some point on Remind over this week. And then my wife and I together will create a video where we answer questions. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll get the questions on Remind. We'll make a video on YouTube and I'll post a YouTube video on Schoology with the answers of the questions that you guys all gave us. All right? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done. That's all I got for this week. If you have questions, send me a remind, send me an email, and I'm going to start acting like a YouTuber. Okay? So If you're new here, make sure to that didn't go well. All right, take 2. My wife is laughing at me. Take 2. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell over there next to it to get notified every time I post a new video. Make me famous. Something just fell. Make me famous, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. I'm out. Bye.